Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Real on Parenting. I am your host. I don't have my co-host today, Danielle. I miss you, girl. But I am your host, Kiana Shaw, and I'm here with my friend, my mighty might, literally, just a full punch of joy and happiness and craziness and dependability and character. It has character and is a character. Y'all, I would just jump right on into this. Please pay no mind to the fact that she's a Broncos fan. I'm not against the Broncos. I just know some of y'all are not for them. And so I don't want to get caught in the crossfire of shenanigans from the she nominal Tasha Champion. Welcome, girl.
Hello, happy whatever day it is, but
Hey,
thank you for having me. Thank you.
listen, for the last couple of months, my husband and I we'll get to like Wednesday or Thursday and be like, "What's today?" Like it's never Wednesday or Thursday for us. It's out, and so now it's just like, please don't start this mess. Like, please. So
Yeah,
whatever day it is, we just gonna say, "Hey,
right. Happy day.
happy day." So listen, because I want to get right into all the questions that I have. First of all, just thank you for saying yes. I love you so much. Not just because you said yes, but because like there is so many layers to you as a person. Um, you are an award winning coach. You have novels. You've done your own anthology. Like we're gonna talk about it all because I'm gonna read the bio, but like I know the bio, so but I don't want to leave anything out, so I'm gonna read it. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So Tasha Champion is known as the She Nominal Coach. She is an award nominated empowerment leader and Amazon #1 bestseller, author of Phenomenal Women. Now, if you remember Tasha, like before Phenomenal Women, you probably remembered her in my book anthology. Well, look, now I done said your name and can't remember the name of the book we did together.
Mother's Diary.
A mother's daughter. See there, y'all. Listen, because we're gonna talk about perimenopause too. Okay, that's another topic we're gonna hit on before she leaves today. A J.P. Morgan Chase Icon Award nominee. She has spent the last 8 years coaching women to rediscover their wealth, confidence, and purpose. And through her company, Champion Empowerment, she creates safe spaces for healing, growth, and intentional, unapologetic joy, especially for underserved women. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have been on the receiving end of her coaching. Like I say we are friends for real. So sometimes it's like, hey, girl, I'm gonna need to talk this out loud. Go on and give it to me. And she does just that. And she could call me for the same thing. But when I call her, I have to, take a deep breath and that friend that you call when you want to get straight, not the friend that you call that when you want all your stuff sanctioned. Right.
Mhm.
She the one I call when I want to get straight.
And you're the one I call when I need to get straight.
Listen, because iron sharpens iron, okay? Tasha is the visionary behind the highly anticipated, sold out, extremely beautiful, extremely professional, Phenomenal Women's Gala and Phenomenal Retreats. Okay. Now, if you have not been to a Phenomenal Woman Gala, you are missing some of the most inspirational people you will ever meet in your life. You are missing some of the best stories. You are missing some of the most heartfelt moments. This past one that happened back in September, there was a young lady who was like, I'm here because when my friend died, you were amazing to me. Like it was like that, like she got that kind of loving and loveliness going on. She has transformational workshops, including empowering your vision and goals. She does Mommy Mondays.
Yeah, we're getting ready
Uh,
to
say that again.
I said we're getting ready to start that so that the first Monday of every month, mommies can just come together and vent and support one another. Like, let's prepare for this month ahead.
Yes, and not just vent and support, but just like inspire and like just connect and get the resources. So I look forward to that because I'm definitely gonna be a part of her mommy moments or her mommy Mondays. Her family engagement program, parent partnership, and her workplace wellness series, Mindful Momentum, support families, businesses, organizations, and school district employees across California. Like when I say that she's amazing, I really do mean it, y'all. But I'm gonna finish this bio. Through her passion to support and bring awareness to breast cancer, she has relaunched the Mammo Challenge, and you can get in on this. I'm gonna put it across the screen. But the Mammo Challenge is here. It ain't coming. It is here, and I'm gonna give you guys the link to that. But the whole purpose of it is encouraging women to prioritize their mammograms, and will officially launch the Phenomenal Survival Support Squad, an amazing community of women supporting women and their families through breast cancer diagnosis, right? And then from divorce to 100% single parenting to surviving aggressive breast cancer, Tasha is living proof that your greatest comeback can be born from your most painful chapters. Her story reminds women that healing is possible, joy is within reach, and you too are phenomenal. And I love it. She has been seen on KCAL 9 News, Good Day LA. What did I see you recently? I feel like
Big
you
Cal
was
9 News
that
and
was
Kaiser.
KCAL 9 News. Kaiser Permanente got a whole. See, now I'm about to lie and say they got a whole wing dedicated to, but that's not it. They have a whole video.
I manifested with you, honey. Let's go on and manifest that wing. Yeah.
She's been on Fox Soul TV, The Daily Press, and um, right here, right now, the real on parenting. Tasha's on a mission to help women rise with clarity, courage, and purpose so they can live a fulfilled, phenomenal life and fully love the champion they are. So, you guys, give me one more time. Give her a very warm welcome. I
Yay.
had to, I had to pull out my clapper. So Tasha, okay, because I had to do the bio because that's the official stuff, right? But we're gonna dive in if it's okay. Talking about like your survivor journey and who you are as a mom. I want to know, is there anything off limits? No?
If
Okay.
something, if you happen to ask a question that's off limits, I'll just say I am not going to answer that right now. But other than that, I am as transparent as we can possibly get because I know that's what helps to change lives. So
I can
I'm
expect
here
that.
for it.
And that's probably a question I should have asked you before, but you know how I do.
The last name is Champion, so we're gonna champion through this, right? Like,
Come on
yeah.
now. Come on. All right. So before we dive into your journey as a survivor, tell us who you are when no one is watching.
Ooh, okay. I love that question because we are so busy always living through our titles. So if I'm living through my titles, then I am a mom, I am a happy ex-wife, I'm a daughter. I am an wellness empowerment coach, facilitator, leader, wellness retreat leader, intuitive healer, speaker, all the things that I love. So those are titles, right? And each one of these titles I hold near and dear to my life. Whichever one of these titles you call upon me for, like I'm there, right? Microphone and camera, call Tasha. But who is Tasha Champion? I am very much intentional love. I am intentional light. I am a dedicated child of God. I am warmth and inspiration. Um, I am spirit walking every day. And I'm a joy. I'm joyful. That's Tasha
Love
Champion.
that. I love, and let me tell you why, because so many times when people say, "Who are you?" people give their titles. They give the things that they are most proud of. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's the stuff that they would put, on their resume. But like you gave me the stuff that we would put, in your like in your introduction of your life's greatest moment, your lifetime achievement award. Like you gave us that. And so it's not just, oh, she's great at this, but like this is who you are at your core. I love that. So you wear a lot of hats, right? You just named a whole bunch, from life coach to mother to all the things.
Yeah.
Which of those identities felt hardest to balance during your journey?
Um, Interesting because a lot of these titles I was unaware I had during the journey. And the reason why I say unaware is because God knew, He just hadn't revealed each title to me yet.
Okay.
Right. So I would probably have to say, I would say motherhood, But in reality, I had already gone through a very difficult time going through a divorce and becoming that 100% single parent. I had gone through that. And then, right following after that, if you read a mother's diary plug, you'll see like I jumped right into another relationship.
Mhm.
And that was completely unhealthy. Just before I was diagnosed, like literally December 31st, 2014, is where I got that calling, that nudge, that middle of the night. And I kid you not, it was the middle of the night where I felt God nudge me and go, something's got to change. Right. Reached out then to a life coach and I started working on me.
Okay.
Little did I know that 8 months later, I would find out that I'm BRCA positive. BRCA is the breast cancer susceptibility gene that shows your mutation for breast or ovarian cancer. I was positive with that. And then, what, 5 months later, I would be diagnosed with breast cancer. And
Mhm.
I'll tell the journey of how that happened once you get to that question. So because I was already on that healing journey, that self-discovery, that self-love, learning that I was not mom first, I was Tasha first, then mom, and that was okay because we're always taught differently as women, but that was okay. By the time I was diagnosed with cancer, I think it was just like, oh, this is the next chapter in my book, right? It wasn't a thing of
Wow.
like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It was, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Right. Like that's how I took it on because I felt like, honestly, I had already gone through the hardest part, and that was become 100% single parent.
Okay. So that's a big thing because a lot of people will say I'm a single mom when really they're a single woman, right? Like you are not a single mom because that man is not there. That makes you a single woman if he is active, right? But you're saying no, no, no. I am happily divorced and I was a single mom. So what did that look like?
Whew, I could tell you that was that was honestly probably the biggest journey of my life because I call him husband. Anybody who's ever seen me speak or read books, like I call him husband. That was that's a healthier name than what I used to say. So I say husband.
What? It's a healthier name than what you used to say. I just want to make sure we're not glossing over that thing. Because now I want to know what you used to say, but I'm going to go ahead and let you keep going. Go ahead. I'm
Right.
listening.
It's the healthier name, right?
Okay.
But he was a father, active father. Our daughter was 13 and the boys were 9, 8, and almost 3. So he was
Okay.
an active father, present father in their life, all of that, all of the things. And then it was just like, I don't want to be a husband or a father anymore. And I'm going to restart my life as though I was never married or had children.
Wow.
Now, the reason why I talk about the father he was is because I think in my mind, this is I don't know, but in my mind, if a parent has always been in and out, I'm gonna show up when I want to, I'm not gonna show up, I'm gonna lie and say I'm coming and then don't really come. I think it would have been a little bit easier because maybe there would have been some, oh, we're
A
used to that.
history of it. Okay.
Exactly. But you're talking about somebody that was there from the day they were born until the day he decided he was not going to be a parent anymore. Um, at all of their events, he was a father. Like, let me not try and break this down because mothers, we don't have to break it down, right? He was a
Right.
father, and then
Okay.
all of a sudden, that was gone. I'm okay with being a single woman. I'm
Mhm.
okay with the divorce. I'm good with all of that. But now you're putting me in a position to raise 4 humans that I didn't create on my own.
And he is the father of all 4 children.
All 4 children. Yes.
You guys were married for how long?
We were together for 13, 14 years and married for almost 7.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then he just said, I'm out.
I'm out.
Chuck deuces
Because
and run. Okay.
I finally was just like, I want a divorce. Like I was making spaghetti because that's like the one dish that I make really, really well. So I was making spaghetti And I just, again, it was that nudge from God, like, is this what the rest of your life gonna look like? And at the time I was living in Nevada, so he had gone to watch a football game and he came home and I was like, I want a divorce. And it was just that simple. I was like, I just want a divorce.
Smiling and laughing, cheesing, like that's how you ask for the divorce?
I was very confident. I didn't, because at that point, I didn't care. I
I
no
know.
longer cared. I no longer cared about the women in your phone. I no longer cared about the pictures of women in your phone. I no longer cared about how you looked, how you smelled, like everything about you was like, bleh, right? So a divorce was like, oh, this is going to be my happy space.
Mhm.
And we had always talked about if we ever like fully parted ways, how we would co-parent. So I was expecting that conversation.
Got it.
And what
Okay.
he told me was, well, when I leave, I'm just letting you know I'm leaving everything behind. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't get that. I thought he meant
Well,
like,
do you think that it was more of a retaliation and the
you
kids were
know,
just kind of innocent bystanders, collateral damage, so to speak?
it's interesting because a lot of people have asked me that. And I'm going to confidently say I don't. I don't think that because he was not the type of person that would retaliate against the children to get back at me. Like he was a whole father.
Got it.
I think, and then I honestly thought it was maybe a midlife crisis. Like he just needed to go kind of maybe find himself. I honestly did not think it would even last a year because I've watched this man be a father for 13 years. So guess what? I know. I know you can't tell me nothing. I know what he said. I know what he said to the kids, but you can't tell me that this is what he's actually going to do.
You said you know what he said to the kids. He shared that with them?
I specifically said, do not tell our children this. We can tell them we're getting a divorce, but do not tell them this. And we sat them down to tell them we were getting a divorce. And he blurts out, and I'm not going to be your father anymore. And
My
his
Lord.
voice started to crack and his eyes started to well up. And I was like, I said something that I'm not going to say on here.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Um, yeah,
We
but
got FCC's regular.
right. I was prepared for bail money. That's what I'll say. Like, you
There
don't
we
get,
go.
yes, you do not get to cry at a time where you are telling innocent children that love you and only know of you that you are no longer going to be their father. You don't get to do that. And then to tell us you got to restart your life like you were never married or had children. Like, this is like he's sitting down like we're canceling a trip to Disneyland. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
hey, we're not going to be able to go today, right? But he's sitting down saying, "My life decision is I'm no longer going to be a father or a husband," and he has lived 13 years now as I don't care about the ex-husband part. He has lived 13 years as an absent father. And when people find out he has children, they're like, "Wait, what? What do you mean?" Yeah,
Right.
uh-huh.
Because we don't see him.
Hmm. And he
Right.
says he doesn't have them.
He says what?
He says he doesn't have them. If you meet him and you ask if he has children, he'll tell you no.
Well, in the event that you know what, let me not say that in public. Okay. I've been a ride or die for you for a long time. The end. Okay. What's
I'm gonna
understood
read your
between
mind
us?
while you read my mind, and we just gonna leave
Right.
it at that. Yes.
Because what's understood between us does not have to be explained. Amen.
Right.
All right. So that being said, let's move forward because I was going to ask you what was your life like before your diagnosis, but I want to know because with all of this going on, how did becoming a mom, or not how did becoming, but how did being a mom shape the way you approached your healing journey? Like as you separated, as you guys went through your divorce, like how did you being a mom, like shape that?
You know, it's so interesting. I think one of the greatest disservices that we are taught as women is that our children come first.
Right.
Um, because what happened is I was so focused on my children I didn't understand that I had been abandoned too.
And you never put your own mask on.
I never put my mask on.
Right.
And then because I didn't even understand the healing process, and I reached out to people that said, I think I need therapy. And it was like, Black folks don't go to therapy, they go to church. And so then what did
Well,
I
so
do?
time out. So if you're listening and you say that, or you're listening and you've heard that, um, let's if you're listening and you say it, stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it and go get you some therapy.
Yes,
That's number one.
because it made me happy.
Right. And if you've heard it, stop listening to them and go get you some therapy. And don't wait until you can no longer handle life to get your therapy.
Yeah.
Your pastor is not a therapist. Your pastor probably ain't even been to clergy. Okay, let's move on. So go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
listening.
So when I was just told to go to church, I'm like, it just brought me back into my shell where I felt safe.
Right.
And I didn't understand that while I had four children who were dealing with the same thing, they were still four different emotions on top of my emotions. So I'm
Right.
trying to lump healing together. And it's not, because healing is not linear and it's different for each person. And I did not understand that because I had no one to tell me that, right? It's just we get to this place, especially for women, where we're just saying, stay strong, right? And that's why I'm hashtag unstrong, because there's this connotation that if you are crying or you're having a moment or you just want to stay in bed, that it's implying that you're weak, and it's not, right? So I just really had to learn once I got my own coach and began to work through my healing, not my children's, but my healing. Then I was able to really kind of step outside of myself and go, now what do they need?
Right.
And they needed and deserved a mother that could work through her healing. They deserve that. They needed and deserved a mother that could be honest about what she was experiencing and what she was feeling. They needed a mother that could hear them, because for a long time, and I'm sure other women can understand, we either try not to talk about it because we don't want them to feel into those emotions. Here's the truth: the kids are already feeling it.
Facts.
They're feeling your
Facts.
emotions and they're trying to feel their own. So, the same way I'm trying to
And they're
process,
trying to take care of you.
right, with them, they're trying to process their own emotions while taking care of me.
Hmm.
Right? So I had to learn that this is not a balancing act. This is an act of genuine healing. And who am I inside of that healing? And now I can bring that into my children.
Okay. So how long from the time of the conversation of divorce
Mhm.
and like dad has left until your breast cancer diagnosis? What's that time frame?
Almost 4 years. So I went, I got divorced, or I separated, because divorce doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
Jumped into an unhealthy relationship, just looking for somebody to love me, right? That was
Mhm.
unhealthy for me and my children. Another conversation on another show.
Right.
Excuse me, on another episode. Um,
Thank you for the correction.
Me and my children, I had found a home for us. And I was thinking about this earlier today. It was just beautiful because we moved in with our clothes. We moved in with nothing. A car was given to me from a friend, so I had a car, and another friend let me borrow her air mattress. And we, even though it was a 3 bedroom house, we all stayed in the one room for a few weeks until I like bought a bed, and then just kind of furnished the house. Um, so from 2012, when he said that, 2015, I found out that I carried the BRCA gene. And then in December of 2015, I had the first surgery that where they would remove all of my reproductive organs. So cervix, uterus, ovaries, and fallopian tubes. So I literally went from Tuesday being a 35-year-old woman that was not even perimenopausal
Right.
to Wednesday being a 35-year-old woman who was in full menopause.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, and then January is when I found out that I had breast cancer.
So you said you carried a BRCA gene. Like, how do you know? Like, how did that diagnosis come about? And then what does that mean for women?
Right. Okay. So a lot of people know it as the Angelina Jolie gene. Okay.
Okay.
But more than celebrities get it, y'all. And she
Right.
received a lot of flack because she carried this gene that made her high risk for breast cancer. And she decided to have what's called a prophylactic double mastectomy. This means I'm going to go and have my natural breast removed. I am going to have reconstruction and have implants inserted because this will reduce the risk of me getting breast cancer. Okay.
You said it's called a prophylactic.
Double mastectomy.
Okay. All right. I'm over here taking notes. So,
Right. Yes. The reason this came up, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer when she was 37 years old.
okay.
So that was 1997. Fast forward to 2015, her doctor, looking at my mother's history, this is why it is very important, you guys. No, talk, let me not say no, talk about your medical history within your family. It is so incredibly important. And I just recently found out that Black families are more likely to pass down family recipes than they are to pass down health information. We have to change that. Your doctors need to know.
Like
Yes,
that's a big that because when I think about like how many conversations have we actually had about health, like we don't.
we
We
don't.
don't.
We don't. So my
Okay.
mother's doctor encouraged her to get into this program where she would be tested for this BRCA gene. Okay. So it's a breast cancer susceptibility gene. The BR is from breast, the CA is from cancer. So that's why we just
Okay.
say BRCA. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This gene, the simplest way I can put it is to see if you carry the gene mutation that makes you high risk for breast or ovarian cancer. Now, let me explain to you guys why she would tell my mom she needs this test. My mother had breast cancer at 37. Her aunt, her mother's sister, had breast cancer at 39. My great grandmother, which is my mother's mom, passed
Mm.
away at 42 from stomach problems. Okay. Remember, way back then,
They didn't
Black
have
women
to
couldn't even
go
go
to.
to the doctor or, there were issues, but they're very confident after learning my family history. My great grandmother passed away from ovarian cancer. They just knew it was bad stomach problems. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, my mother's first cousin died of ovarian cancer. My mother, the same one that passed away from ovarian cancer, her sister died from breast cancer. So this is all on my mother's side.
Okay.
When we're looking at family history, all of that dictates you guys need to be tested to see if you carry this gene mutation. My
Okay.
mother was positive, and then that prompted, of course, me and my siblings to get tested, and we were positive.
Okay. Now, does having the gene mean you have cancer?
Not at all. Not at
Okay.
all. It does not mean you have cancer. It means that you are higher than the general population to get
Okay.
cancer. The general population is about 7%. Okay.
So how do we get screening for this? Like, what do we ask our doctors for? Like, if we don't know our family histories, will doctors still test us without knowing if this is even something that could run in our families?
That's something that it's interesting, something I talk about all the time because not everybody's going to know their family history, whether it's not discussed. You might have been adopted, you might have been from a one night stand, you might not know the other side of your family because it does not just run on the mother side, it can also run on the father side, right? My
Okay.
brother is BRCA positive. So now for my niece, it runs on her father's side. Okay.
Yeah.
The best thing is, of course, family history. That's going to always be your first line of defense is to know your family history. Number two, doctors will look at your age. Okay. If you are over 50, then you're most likely general population, right? If you are under 40, they might start to look at could this be a family history? And they're going to ask, is there a history of this? You may not know. Excuse me. I'm starting to see more people be able to have the option to get the BRCA testing, whereas before it was only if you went through genetic counseling and it shows you need to take it. Excuse me. So it is something you want to talk to your doctor about, but definitely it's going to come from family history.
Okay. Now, when you first heard the words, Tasha, you have cancer, breast cancer specifically, what was your immediate thought?
Okay. So I'm going to go back a little bit.
Okay.
Remember, I'm BRCA positive. Okay.
Mhm.
I am just going to the hospital to have an elected double mastectomy. This means, like I said with Angelina Jolie, sorry, I'm finding this braid in my face. Um, I am going to have this elected double mastectomy with immediate reconstruction to reduce the risk of me ever having breast cancer.
Okay.
Based on my family history and whatever numbers they're looking at, I'm about an 87% likely chance of getting breast cancer. And at
Okay.
this point, I'm 35 years old.
Okay.
So the day before my 36th birthday, I went into the hospital for this surgery. And during the surgery, they found the cancer already growing. And just 2 weeks prior to that, my sister went to have her elected double mastectomy and they found cancer already growing. So we're diagnosed the exact same way, just 2 weeks apart. So and both of us, I want y'all to understand, both of us had mammograms within about 6 to 8 months of this elected double mastectomy.
Okay. Keep going, because now I got questions about mammograms and why am I getting my boob and like my whole back pushed into my armpit if it's not detecting anything. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah. It like we went from having nothing to having something there. Okay.
Got
We were both diagnosed with triple negative, which is an extremely aggressive breast cancer because your body is estrogen, progesterone, and HER2 negative, which means that my body. I probably will look this up so I don't give y'all the Tasha version. So I want to make sure that I give y'all the correct version because I
it.
want y'all to understand. Um, hold on, let me just
So
because
while you're looking it up, I'm wondering how fast does this happen? Because and I keep associating it with the BRCA gene. So I'm like, does it just decide, hey, I'm about to mutate and become deadly, and now all of a sudden it's like what wasn't there in three weeks ago is now there. Like, does it work that fast, or was something missed? Like in your mammogram previously?
so just think about how many women get their mammograms faithfully every year, and then that 1 year they have breast cancer,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Studies really can't show like, oh, you got your mammogram last year and this started going 3 months later. Like it's not that. It's just that next mammogram is now showing there's something there, right? So triple negative breast cancer is a type of breast cancer that is negative for the three receptors: estrogen, progesterone, and the human epidermal growth, or the HER2 is what they call it, receptor. Um, so it's an extremely aggressive breast cancer because I don't have any of the receptors that can help me fight it. My body is negative of these hormone receptors that could help me fight it. Now, what
Okay.
do I mean by aggressive? My cousin on my mother's side that passed away 2 days before I had this double mastectomy was diagnosed with triple negative. She went from stage 1 to stage 4 in 6 weeks. So when I say aggressive, I mean it is aggressive. That does not mean that you cannot survive it, but it is aggressive. So
Is
when
there a
people,
way to be tested for that particular cancer?
all of your cancers are going to be tested to see what type it is.
But I
Any
mean, like, but I'm thinking of preventative. Is there a way to go, okay, I need to see if I have this cancer because it moves so fast?
No,
Okay.
I don't believe so. You would want to ask an oncologist. I'm only a Grey's Anatomy surgeon, but you so something like that. You need to make sure that you are asking a doctor, somebody has studied and been
I'm
to
not
school
a
for
doctor,
this.
but I've seen all the episodes of House. Okay.
Right? See exactly. but but no, they usually by the time you are it goes from mammogram to biopsy. If that biopsy confirms confirms cancer, and then they decide on your treatment. Once they remove it, that's when they're going to be able to kind of determine what type of cancer it could be.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So you hear the words, Tasha, you have cancer, and what are your immediate thoughts?
Is my mom okay? That's my immediate thought, because my mother just heard 2 weeks ago, your daughter has cancer. And now 2 weeks later, your daughter has cancer. So my initial thought was,
So she was there?
my mom was, she got the call from my doctor, from my surgeon, and said, "Hey, we found something." And she says, "Yes, I know that she has a cyst." She said, "This wasn't the cyst." She said, "This is something different." And here's the thing, my surgeon was an oncology surgeon. So guess what she cuts out every day? Cancer.
Right.
I don't need to wait for pathology. If you tell me that you see something, I'm going to know, right?
Okay.
Because this is what you do every day. So
Right.
technically, I had to wait for pathology. Like, a doctor can't come in and tell you anything until it goes through pathology. But again, she cuts cancer out every day. She knows what this
Knows
looks
what
like.
she looking. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Okay.
exactly.
So I know that you are like the advocate for being on the healing journey, especially with something like this. But what part of your treatment or recovery tested your faith or your strength the most?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I have an answer to what tested my strength in terms of mental or spiritual,
Okay.
because cancer was found and removed in my body at the same time. When
Okay.
people say, "When did you declare cancer free?" The day they told me I had cancer. Well,
Right.
are you in remission? Re means again, I ain't never having cancer again. So I've been cancer free since the day
I
I
know
was,
that's right.
right. And I tell women that all the time. Stop waiting for cancer to be removed to say you're cancer free. Words have power. So I
Right.
was always cancer free, right?
I love it.
I would say, if I'm going by physical, the first round of treatment, because understand, and this is where I want people to understand triple negative. When, keep in mind, me and my sister are at two different hospitals. We're both diagnosed, but we're only there for an elective double mastectomy. It
Mm.
sent hospitals up into an uproar. Like, what the heck and how did this happen? Right.
Right.
So everybody has come to the table. What are we going to do? Because both of them are diagnosed. But again, two different hospitals, same brand, but two different hospitals. They decided they still have to go through chemo. Yes, the cancer was found and removed at the same time. For my sister, it was in one of her lymph nodes. It had just started to spread. For me, it had not. But because it was triple negative, the only answer was chemo.
Mhm.
Why? Even though it was found and removed? Because, like they said, if any of these cells, any of these triple negative cells, have trickled down into any other part of your body, we're going to be having a different conversation. We need chemo to go through and kill off any cancerous cell that may have moved around in your body. Great. Sign me up for chemo. Is this what you, honey? You've already said it. I don't need to discuss if this is what I want to do. Sign me up. Right. When I went into the chemo consultation where you talk with the nurse and she tells you all the things that you may experience, again, words have power. So everything she said, I just silently said to myself, not on me, not in my body. No matter what she said, you may experience nausea. Not on me, not in my body. I just said it to myself. I don't have to say it out loud. I don't have to be vocal about it. I'm just going to say it to myself. This isn't happening to me. So you ask, where did I get tested the most physically? Was after the first round of chemo, day 3, 4, and 5. What in the world just happened to me? I felt like Mike Tyson knocked me out while I had the worst flu ever. And I just was like, Oh my God. Now, I never vomited.
Okay.
I gained 21 pounds on chemo. I had an allergic reaction.
Thickness.
I'm sorry.
I said, okay, thickness.
Oh yeah. I went from 111 to 132. Okay. So yeah, I ended up like a little curvy, right? Pudgy but curvy. Um, but I also I gained 21 pounds. I never vomited. I had an allergic reaction to the chemo where my neck got inflamed. My underarms pretty much turned almost black, like they were like super, super brown. Um, and I still was like, okay, but I'm here, right? I called my oncologist. This is what's happening. She brought me in. So the weight came from them having to increase my steroids.
Got it.
She explained, because this cancer is aggressive, I want to keep you on this same regimen. So we're going to up your steroid dosage. And before chemo, you need to, we'll give you Benadryl. If it happens again, then we'll look at changing it. No problem. Like I know people will say, oh my God, you wanted to try it again? I'm okay with that. Right. I trust the woman who's gone to school for this and chose oncology as her path. I'm gonna trust her. Right. So those first three, those day 3, 4, and 5 were really, really difficult. And I think the most difficult part is okay, the most difficult part is I lost my taste buds. And I like food, but I lost my taste buds. And I would always get them back 3 days before chemo. So then I would just eat and eat and eat, and then they would be gone again. And I think the other part that I really had to adjust to, the shots that you receive to increase your white blood cells, because remember, cancer kills all cells. They don't just know which ones are cancer. I'm sorry, chemo.
Right. Right.
Um, I really had leg pain and collapsed a couple of times because like my legs just felt like they were giving out. Um, but again, with all of that, I'm here. I'll
Right.
take it.
Okay, so because you're talking about the leg pain, many breast cancer survivors say that the emotional scars run a whole lot deeper than the physical ones. How did you heal emotionally while your body was healing physically?
I don't think I was everly emotionally attached or disconnected. Like
Okay, that's fair.
I literally got diagnosed and was like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? It was I honestly never had an emotional reaction to it other than my mommy.
Okay, other than your, okay. So then what's something about breast cancer that people don't talk about enough, but they should?
I think something that people don't talk about enough when it comes to breast cancer, um, from all the women that I talk to, I would say it's probably the emotional part. So let me go back. You ask about the emotions. Here is where I did have an emotional disconnect. I lied. Not lied, just forgot.
Mhm.
I I love pregnancy. Like I've been pregnant 4 times, have 4 children. I absolutely love pregnancy. I nursed all of my children. So for me, it was just like I am losing the very parts of me that nourished my children.
Got it. There's a
Also,
connection there. There really is.
there's a connection there. But I'm losing that part of me to make sure I'm here for them. So it was that. But I
Connection.
think the
Okay.
other thing that people don't really want to talk about is probably that mammograms don't they are not as painful as people say they are. And this is what I tell people. Like Kiana's like, no, honey, I don't know. Listen.
I had one. I had to have one after having a biopsy just a couple of weeks ago. And when I tell you, I was like, what in the entire hell?
It's discomfort. It really is discomfort. But here's what I tell women. Most women that have had a mammogram had more than one child. You only had one. So if you've had more than one child, you cannot tell me that a mammogram is too painful.
It's not that it's too painful, it's that it is painful. Having a baby is painful, but you make it through. But
Mhm. You make it
Like
through.
having a baby, you do not forget that pain. You do not listen, they are making, you know, J and K cups into pancakes, like not even waffles, into
It-
pancakes. It's all kind of flapjacks at that. Like it is that hurts. Okay, let me move on.
it. But it's okay. Like, can you deal with the smash for a very limited time
Yes.
if it'll save your life?
Yeah, but it's
I think
still uncomfortable.
it is,
I
but
think that's the part that doesn't get talked about. It is uncomfortable, but we do it anyway.
you do it
As
anyway.
opposed to, no, it's fine. You live. Because
Yeah.
the way I wanted to punch the nurse broke to, anyway. So how did your children handle seeing you go through cancer?
I was extremely vocal and transparent with my children. I
Okay.
left nothing unturned. I left nothing to their imagination. I was very clear that this is what's happening, because I didn't want them in that space of what's happening to mom? Why is she doing this? Why is she like this? Right? I wanted them to be very clear. Now, I did it age appropriately. Let me be clear,
Yes.
because my children were what, 16, 13, 12, and 6 at the time. Probably my youngest, it was the most difficult because you're talking about a woman who's bald. My 6-year-old relates bald to a man. So anytime I didn't have a hat on, he's like, people are going to think you're a boy. And I'm like, it's okay. He's like, but I just want to protect you. Right. Like everything that I thought I might experience or was coming to experience, I let them know up front. When I first noticed my hair was coming out, I sat them down and said, hey, mom is going to be bald by the end of the day. I'm going to shave it just to empower that chemo doesn't get to take every strand. Ha ha, beat you
I,
to it. I'm going to shave it off.
I love that. I love that. That is a powerful statement. That
Yeah,
really is. Like I'm gonna cut my own hair because chemo don't get to take it off from me.
they didn't say it off for me. So I told them, I talked to them about it. I asked them, did they want to be in the room when I did it? They chose not to. So I waited until I was done and then I went to show them like I am bald and it's okay. My mom was once bald and her hair grew back, you know. What's more important that is that I'm here, right? So um everything I talk to them about, and I think that that's important. I deal with a lot of women that don't want to share with their children. They don't want to tell their parents like, listen, you cannot go through this alone. Your children need to have an understanding. I'm not saying you got to divulge every single detail, but they do need to understand what's happening to you, because as things change, your children are sitting back like something is wrong, right? They are connected to you. They were from your body, even if they're adopted. Like they are a part of you. They feel you. So you
Right.
do need to have these conversations and stop feeling like you got to go through this by yourself. When you decide not to tell anybody, what you're telling cancer is, ooh, it's me and you. We got a whole relationship. We in this together. When you tell people, when you vocalize, when you say like, hey, this is what I'm going through, and you got your prayer warriors, you got your supporters coming around you, cancer is like, dang, she ain't even by herself in this game, right? You need and should want that support.
Okay, so what would you say to moms? What do you want to share with moms who are in the middle of this journey as it relates to their kids? Like what is the thing or things that you're like, hey, these are conversations that are tough but have to be had, or these are things that need to be put in place. Like what is it that you would share with moms?
I'm not going to say the phrase, oh, your children are resilient, they'll be fine.
Thank
Here's the
you
thing.
for not saying that.
No, I don't like that phrase at all. Because in reality, all of us are resilient. All of us bounce back. All of us find a way to get through
Hey, but
things.
they still be hurt. Like I've heard people say to kids at funerals, like they would want you to be strong. Don't tell my baby that if she ever have to attend my funeral, she gets to have the same breakdown tantrum like the kids in Toys R Us used to have. Put some cones around her, right? Orange cones, and let her be free. Because why am I gonna hold her to a level of maturity, especially at this age now? But even like if my mama closed her eyes today, I'm gonna act the fool. because
hopeful.
that is my girl,
Right.
right? So, I appreciate you saying that because a lot of people try to make kids hold them emotionally hostage. That's not okay.
Yeah.
So okay, so go ahead. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm hashtag unstrong. I
Right.
think what you get to do as a parent, as a mom,
Hmm.
is allow your children to have the emotions they need to have, and you let them know that it's okay to have those emotions. It's okay if you're sad right now. It's okay if you're happy right now. It's okay if you feel freedom right now. It's okay if you need to cry right now,
Right.
right? Because kids will hold this thing of like, oh my God, but if I go watch my favorite show and I'm laughing, mom's gonna think like that I'm not sad enough for her. Allow your children to explore their emotions. I know for me personally, my children had just got through watching me go through this insane divorce of their father disowning us pretty much. And I could see in my baby's eyes, they're not, how do I want to put this? They are not expressing themselves. Like they're hiding it. There's something there and they don't want to be open with it because they're afraid of how I'm going to take it. They're afraid of how I'm going to feel.
Right.
Right. And what I told them to do, I said, go write a letter to cancer and tell cancer how you feel. And that gave them the freedom to express themselves. And then I started a website called Letters to Cancer where other people got the opportunity to, write letters, which apparently I just got told a few weeks ago I need to relaunch that too. But it gave
That
my
sounds
children,
amazing.
thank you. It gave my children the opportunity to express themselves, to talk about how they felt without looking at me to say it and worry, is mommy going to cry? Is this going to make her sad? How is she going to feel? Right. But I think the bigger problem is because we have all been taught that crying is a sign of weakness and that it's unsafe.
Right.
Then when you need to cry around your children, when you need or want them to be able to express themselves, we've never been given permission to do that as a society. So we have to allow our children the space to be to have comfort in how they are feeling. And you as a mother, you got to stop feeling like, oh, don't cry, like just be strong. Stop telling those kids that. Allow them to have the emotion and respect that it's their emotion and just sit with them. Like my kids used to just lay in bed with me. If that's what they wanted to do, that's what they're going to do. If they need to cry, cry. Allow them to have the emotions they need to have.
Beautiful. So a couple more questions. Okay, so you are, the champion, no pun intended, for women's empowerment. So how do you balance being strong for other women while still protecting your own peace?
Number one, I have a deep saying and I don't play about it. If you cannot be in my peace, you cannot be in my presence. That is number one. But how do I protect my peace while still supporting and helping women through a seemingly difficult time in their life through
Right.
transparency? I need you to see me, right? I need you to understand that because I'm 10 years in, I'm still not up here. I'm right there with you, right? We still even. Me being 10 years and you being new, we still together, right? So I
Right.
do it through transparency. I do it through listening. I do it through allowing God to just use me as a vessel.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. And that's what I tell God before I get on any phone call with anybody. God, send to me what you need them to know, right? Just allow me to be a vessel. Allow me to inspire them through your words, right? So honestly, my peace gets protected in the way that I support them through it. That's what brings me peace. Being in my purpose in the most authentic, genuine way with compassion, I'm already in my peace when I'm doing it.
Okay. Okay, so then when you look in the mirror
Mhm.
now, what do you see that you maybe couldn't see before your diagnosis?
I see me. Thank God with eyebrows because chemo took all my eyebrows away and I started looking like a thumb. So I got my eyebrows tattooed. Um,
You were looking like a thumb.
I did. I look like I could hitchhike with my face. So I got my eyebrows tattooed.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you for joining us on the real. 'Cause well, how am I? The jokes are writing themselves in my head. Like, what? Why would you do this to me? Okay, go ahead.
um, I really like when I even when I look in the mirror now,
Let's see.
I always go, God, you really gave me this responsibility. Like, thanks for trusting me. Right. And then sometimes I look and
That
I'm like, oh,
perspective.
yeah, I'm like, girl, you did that. And sometimes I look at this extra chin and I'm like, so all these steroids and chemo, like you couldn't like do something else with the chin. Like I'm looking at my imperfections too. I'm a woman, right? I'm
Yes.
looking at the fact that like I went from a size 2 to a 4. I'm looking at my different imperfections. But at the end of the day, what I look at most is, girl, you are still here. So any imperfection, like you'll start to learn your imperfections don't mean nothing because imperfections and perfections, they look the same in a grave. So whatever imperfections that I have right now,
They
it
look
don't matter.
great. You know, I'm writing that down. Go ahead, keep talking.
Like it don't matter. And I mean, we're women. We're gonna look at our imperfections like, oh my gosh. I look at like the different moles that have come on my face, and I'm like, but you know what? When I get my makeup done, concealer, I'm good. My hair didn't grow back as I wanted it to. Guess what? My mom's been braiding for over 40 years. Bam. I'm good, right? You just learn differently.
Shout
You
out to your mom, by the way. She is just so amazing. Like the last time I saw her, she gave me such a big hug,
oh,
and
she
I
loves
was trying
me.
not to break down. I'm like, it really, y'all know them hugs, right? That older black woman hug that catches your spirit off guard.
Mhm.
It was amazing. So yeah, shout out to her. I love her. Okay, so I just have a couple more questions because so this is pre-recorded, y'all, and we're in Breast Cancer Awareness Month right now. What do you want every woman listening to know or do today? Because you have because you mentioned the Mammo Challenge.
Yes. So I'm gonna drop a number of things on y'all right now. Okay.
Okay.
So number one, if you have not had a mammogram, where's my camera? I'm gonna pop you in your face right now, right? Just kidding. But I need you guys to make your
Just
appointments.
quit being violent with my listeners. Okay.
Right. I need
Um,
y'all to make your appointment. Then I need you to be a breast friend and call someone to make sure they make their appointment as well. Right? We all got to be in this smashaboo together. Okay. So that's number one, make your appointment. Number two, have the talk with your family. Find out what your family history is, not just of cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, like what is in your family. Because guess what? All of that plays a part. Should you be diagnosed, you need to know all of that because it plays a part in your treatment. Okay.
right.
So it's important to have those conversations. Y'all got to stop having this what happens in the house stays in the house. Y'all got to stop having this code of silence when things with things. We need to talk about it. It is very important. You might not be as open as I am. That's no problem. But don't be secretive in the house with your family. Talk
Talk
about
about
it. Okay.
it.
Once you get your mammogram, head on over to bit.ly, bit.ly I'm sorry, mammo challenge and get your mammogram or mammochallenge.com because it'll be up by the time I finish. So mammochallenge.com and submit the form and you will be in the running for a grand prize. We are building the grand prize around self-care. So we're looking at a resort stay. We're looking at some spa days. Like we want to make sure that you are very much celebrated for getting your mammogram. And it's a very simple form. On October 5th of 2026, I will draw a name.
Open to your friends and family because I want to know if I could have my mammogram. I have not been a breast friend though. Like I like that. I'm about to send out a mass text message like,
Yes, you got
what
to
are
be.
y'all checking on your tatas or what?
So those are the two things. And then last, what I want to talk about. This is to my Black women, my Black sisters.
Mhm.
Okay, we have the highest death rate when it comes to breast cancer,
Why?
but we have the lowest diagnosis rate.
Why do we
Okay,
have the highest death rate?
so we have the highest death rate for a number of reasons. It could be a lack of care. It
Okay.
could be a lack of finances. It could be a lack of insurance. Some of it is we're not going to the doctor. We're not doing our self exams. We're afraid to get mammograms. We can feel something, don't want to tell nobody, so we don't go to the doctor until it's late, until it's too late.
Okay.
Some of it is, of course, the history of Black women not being believed. So if you are not believed by one doctor, you go to the next. If you are not believed by the next doctor, you go to the next. If you are not believed by the third doctor, you call Tasha Champion. Okay, because I am very loud, and I will make sure that you
I told y'all she my mighty
never
might.
speak.
She might be little, but
But
she
we
is
have to make
mighty.
sure. So I am an ambassador for Voices of Black Women with the American Cancer Society.
Okay.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. This is extremely important, guys. So we're calling on Black women between the ages of 25 and 55 who have never been diagnosed with cancer to use your voice to change the future as we know it. It is a research study. They are not drawing your blood. They are not swabbing your mouth. They are not counting your cells. This is all data. Okay.
Wow.
We have to do this in order to help each other as Black women. We need more data. We need more data. We
Okay.
need more data. So if you can log on to voices.cancer.org and join, it takes about an hour the first time you sign in and log in, and you're gonna answer a lot of questions, and then twice a year you'll go in and update your questions, and it'll take about 30 minutes. So I'm
Okay.
asking you for pretty much an hour of your time per year to go in, because what happens is if you are diagnosed and you've been a part of this study, they have the opportunity to look at lifestyle. They have the opportunity to look at what you've been experiencing, what you've been doing. It is all lifestyle data that we are tracking. It is so important, so important, so important, because for us as Black women, again, we need to lower the death rate, and we need to have more studies. Y'all got to remember, like, how can I say this sweetly?
Directly.
Um, we are the ones, Black women, we are the ones. We are, I'm not going to use the word superior, but what I will say is a lot of people look to us for a lot of things. We got to start looking to each other. And we have to look to each other to get a hold of our mammograms, our annual physicals, going to the doctor, getting your labs done, getting your colonoscopy when you turn 45, like making sure you are doing the things that you can do. So I am asking, if you are between the ages of 25 and 55 and you've never been diagnosed with cancer, please join this study. It is imperative.
What's the website?
Voices.cancer.org.
Voices.cancer.org. Okay, we want to make sure we
And
promote
this
that.
is for Black women 25 to 55 years old.
Very good. One final question because we got to get out of here. Let's see. What does the word survivor mean to you beyond just being alive?
What does survivor mean to me beyond just being alive? I mean, there's a lot of us alive that aren't living.
Mm,
So survivor to me means intentional living. I didn't survive for no reason, right? I get to get up every day and be intentional with my living. And my prayer every day when I wake up, I first give thanks to God for waking up another day, for being on this side of earth. And then I ask God on my day to day, allow me to teach and learn, allow me to inspire and be inspired by. And that's living for me, that I get to teach something every day. I get to learn something every day. I get to inspire someone and I get to be inspired by someone.
thank you. Thank you for taking your time with me, Tasha. You are
Yes.
amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, give Tasha a round of applause. Just like in your car, whatever. I hope you were honking your horn, doing your church shout, whatever the case may be, because she dropped several nuggets. Voices.cancer.org, and then the Mammal Challenge. I'm sorry. Hold on, because
You can
I
do mammalchallenge.com. They'll be able to find it.
Okay, because I was gonna say bit.ly mammochallenge.com. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So
Submit the
it's
form. Submit the form
mammalchallenge.com.
and be a breast friend. Male, female, like be a breast friend. Because men get breast cancer too. And so we want to be mindful of that. Um, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining us here on The Real on Parenting. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Y'all shout out Danielle, shoot her a message and be like, girl, we missed you in this episode. Uh, you know, come back, like whatever. Love you, Danielle. All right. So thank you so much, Tasha, for being so amazing. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon.